Rose had a spirit as bright as her name. She believed in herself, always doing what she thought was right. This strength showed in everything she did, from her friends to her job. She wasn't scared of anything, and she didn't care what people thought she should do. Rose wasn't stuck up. She just knew what she was good at. Rose always said what she thought, even if it was different from everyone else. She stuck to her beliefs, even when people disagreed. Her strength came from inside, from loving and accepting herself. She knew she was valuable and wouldn't settle for less. This strong spirit made people look up to her, but it also scared some away. But even though she was strong, Rose also wanted to be close to people and have them understand her. She wanted real friends, people who saw more than just her confidence. Even though she liked being independent, Rose wanted love and to belong. She wanted comfort and support from family and good friends. Rose's story shows us how powerful it is to believe in yourself and always be true to who you are, even when things get tough. Rose's parents were her biggest supporters. Their love was always there for her. They taught her how important it was to learn, be independent, and always be herself. Their home was her safe place, where she could be herself. They helped her follow her dreams and told her not to be afraid. Her dad, a quiet man but very wise, taught her to work hard and never give up. He showed her how to be honest and kind. Her mom, a warm and caring person, taught her to understand others and see the good in everyone. She taught Rose to forgive people. Together, Rose's parents made a home where she felt loved and accepted. This love helped her grow into a confident and independent woman. Because they believed in her, she had the courage to follow her dreams. She knew that even when things were hard, her parents would always be there for her. This strong family was like an anchor, keeping her safe during tough times. Rose loved her parents, but things weren't easy with her brother Ken. Ken was the perfect child, good at everything and everyone liked him. Rose, with her strong spirit and independent ways, often argued with Ken's old-fashioned ideas. Ken wasn't trying to be mean, but he often made Rose's dreams seem small and strange. He didn't get why she wanted to do things differently. He compared her to others and said little things that hurt Rose's confidence. This made them grow apart. Rose always felt like she had to prove herself not just to everyone else, but to Ken too. This made her feel distant from him, like there was a big gap between them. Their relationship was always stressful for Rose, reminding her of the rules she wanted to break free from. Rose wanted a new beginning, so she moved to Bangalore, a big and exciting city. She liked its energy and how it felt like a place where she could start over. Bangalore was like a blank page, a place where she could be whoever she wanted to be. The city was new and exciting, with lots of noises and colors. She liked that no one knew her there. She explored the city, its hidden streets, busy markets, and quiet parks. But even in this new place, Rose found the same old rules about how women should act. She had to fight against these ideas, facing unfairness at work and in her personal life. But Bangalore made her even more determined to show everyone who she really was, to prove she was more than just a woman trying to succeed in a man's world.
Fasting. It sounded extreme, a way to punish the body. But something shifted inside me. A quiet curiosity whispered. My body at first rebelled. Hunger pangs gnawed at my insides. Lightheadedness made the world sway. Yet, I continued. Each pang, a release. Each wave of dizziness, a letting go. Something transformative was beginning. I could feel it in my bones. Days blurred. Food no longer the focus. My mind, usually buzzing, grew quiet. A stillness descended. It was as if a fog had lifted. Thoughts came effortlessly. Ideas, vibrant and new, danced before me. Creativity surged. I wrote for hours, words flowing onto the page. The world felt sharper, more vivid. My senses heightened. Fasting, I realized, was unlocking something profound within. Waves of emotion, unexpected and raw, washed over me. Tears fell freely, cleansing old wounds. Anger flared, burning away past hurts. Moments of pure joy erupted, unbidden and sweet. I felt vulnerable, exposed, but also strangely powerful. Facing these buried emotions, I began to heal. The process was messy, chaotic, beautiful. It was the messy, beautiful work of self-discovery. Vivid memories, long forgotten, flickered to life. Childhood dreams, once vibrant, now faded and worn. Moments of laughter, tinged with a bittersweet ache. Each memory, a piece of who I was. I saw my life with new eyes. The mistakes, the triumphs, the heartbreaks. It was all part of a larger tapestry. A tapestry woven with threads of experience, both light and dark. This tapestry, I realized, was uniquely mine. Fasting, I discovered, was not about deprivation. It was about abundance of clarity, of creativity, of self. My body felt lighter, yes, but it was my soul that felt truly transformed. Fasting had given me the gift of self-discovery, a journey inward to the core of my being, and in that space of emptiness, I found fullness, a fullness I carry with me still.
My hands trembled. The orange prescription bottle felt heavy in my palm. Inside were the pills, my lifeline, or so I'd been told. For years, I had swallowed them religiously, twice a day. They kept the voices quiet, the shadows at bay. But at what cost? My mind felt dulled, my body sluggish. Was this living or merely existing? Today felt different. A strange pull, an internal rebellion urged me to stop, to see what remained of me beneath the medication's fog. Was there a me at all? The thought terrified me, yet ignited a spark of desperate curiosity. 7 days. I would go 7 days without the pills. 7 days to face my demons, to reclaim my mind, to discover who I truly was. I knew the risks, the potential for my carefully constructed reality to crumble. But something had to change. I couldn't bear the thought of living like this, a prisoner in my own mind, forever. With a deep breath and a heart full of trepidation, I set the bottle down, unopened. The journey had begun. Deep down, a tiny ember of hope flickered. What if there was another way? A way to heal, to find peace without being chained to medication for life. I had read about ancient remedies, about the power of the mind and body to heal themselves. Maybe, just maybe, this was my chance to tap into that power. My research led me to fasting, not just abstaining from food, but a complete cleanse, a reset for both body and mind. It sounded extreme, radical even, but my situation felt desperate, and desperate times called for desperate measures. The more I read, the more it resonated. Fasting as a way to purify, to break free from old patterns, to connect with something deeper within. It wouldn't be easy. I knew that. But I was determined to try. Perhaps in the crucible of deprivation I would find the answers I sought. Or at the very least I would confront my demons head-on. The first 2 days were the hardest. My body, accustomed to its routine, revolted. Waves of nausea washed over me. Headaches pounded behind my eyes. My stomach growled in protest. Sleep offered little respite, plagued by vivid, unsettling dreams. The cravings were the worst, not just for food, but for the comfort of the pills. That chemical reassurance that everything was under control. But I held firm, reminding myself why I had started this journey. I craved freedom more than anything. Freedom from the shackles of medication, freedom from the tyranny of my own mind. Weakness clung to me like a shroud. Simple tasks, like getting out of bed or taking a shower, felt monumental. But I pushed myself, drawing strength from some unknown well deep inside. Each moment of discomfort, each pang of hunger, was a testament to my commitment. I was in control, even if it didn't always feel like it. As my body weakened, my mind began to stir. At first it was just whispers at the edge of my awareness. Flitting shadows, half-remembered faces. But as the days wore on, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. Hallucinations, once held at bay by medication, began to bleed into my reality. I saw things that weren't there, heard voices murmuring my name. The line between what was real and what was not blurred, leaving me disoriented and afraid. Fear threatened to consume me. Was this the price of freedom? To be lost in the labyrinth of my own mind? But even in the midst of the chaos, a strange sense of clarity emerged. I was witnessing the raw power of my own mind, unfiltered and untamed. It was terrifying, yes, but also strangely exhilarating. Throughout this tumultuous journey, I was fortunate to have the unwavering support of two constant companions, my beloved dogs, Lucky and Nero. Their presence was a grounding force, a reminder of the world outside my own turbulent thoughts. Lucky, with his soulful eyes and gentle nature, seemed to sense my inner turmoil. He would lie by my side for hours, his warm body a comforting weight against mine. Nero, ever playful and full of life, provided moments of much-needed distraction. His antics never failed to bring a smile to my face, reminding me of the simple joys in life. Their unconditional love was a lifeline, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. They didn't judge my struggles, they simply offered their unwavering presence. In their eyes I saw no fear, only love and acceptance. And in their presence, I found the strength to keep going. Section 6. Delusions of Hunger. The hunger pangs were relentless. They gnawed at my stomach, demanding to be satiated. But the hunger went beyond the physical. It was a hunger for something more, something I couldn't quite name. In my weakened state, my mind wove elaborate stories. I hallucinated feasts fit for kings, the aroma of roasted meats and sweet spices filling the air. I saw tables laden with exotic fruits and decadent desserts, all within my grasp, yet forever out of reach. These delusions were both torturous and enlightening. They forced me to confront my own desires, my own relationship with gratification and control. Were these cravings for sustenance or for something more profound? Was I truly hungry, or was my soul yearning for nourishment? Section 7. Day 5 and 6. Navigating the Labyrinth. The days blurred into a surreal tapestry of hallucinations and fleeting moments of lucidity. I wandered through the labyrinth of my own mind, each turn revealing new and terrifying landscapes. Time lost all meaning. Minutes stretched into hours, hours into what felt like lifetimes. One moment I was lost in a forest of twisted trees, their branches reaching for me like grasping claws. The next, I was soaring through a star-studded sky, a sense of boundless freedom washing over me. Then, just as quickly, I would plummet back to earth, crashing into a sea of despair. Yet, amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope persisted. I began to recognize patterns in the madness, to anticipate the ebb and flow of my delusions. I learned to ride the waves of my hallucinations, to observe them without being swept away. A newfound strength, born of desperation and sheer willpower, began to take root within me. Section 8, Day 7. Emergence and Clarity. The sun rose on the 7th day, painting the sky in hues of gold and lavender. As I lay on the floor, my body aching, my mind weary, a profound sense of peace washed over me. The hallucinations had subsided, leaving behind a strange stillness. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, my thoughts were my own. I could think clearly, rationally, without the intrusion of voices or visions. It was as if the storm had passed, leaving behind a landscape washed clean. The world appeared sharper, more vibrant. Colors seemed to pop, sounds were crisper, smells more intense. It was as if I had been living in a muted world and someone had finally turned up the volume. I felt raw, vulnerable, but also strangely alive. The experience had been harrowing, but it had also been transformative. Section 9. A New Perspective. The journey had been arduous, a descent into the depths of my own mind, but it had also been a journey of self-discovery. I had faced my demons head-on and emerged, if not unscathed, then certainly stronger. The experience had given me a newfound appreciation for the fragility of the human mind, the delicate balance between sanity and madness. It had taught me the importance of self-care, the power of the human spirit, and the unwavering love of my canine companions. While I wouldn't recommend this path to anyone, I couldn't deny the profound impact it had had on me. I emerged from the experience with a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to explore alternative paths to healing, to advocate for those who suffer in silence. Most importantly, I had rediscovered my own voice, and that I knew was a power no medication could ever replicate.
At the very end of Aurangzeb Lane stood a house. It was falling apart like a forgotten memory of a grand past. The once bright paint was now faded, bleached by the strong Indian sun. Thick vines like giant snakes crawled across the walls, covering the windows and keeping the house in a constant state of twilight. Here in the middle of Delhi, this mansion held its secrets tight, secrets whispered by the wind, secrets etched into the walls, secrets that made you shiver. People who lived nearby told stories about the house. They talked about shadows moving inside and laughter carried on the breeze, but no one was there to laugh. It was a place where the line between our world and the other side was very thin, where ghosts hung around hungry and mean. This wasn't just a regular haunted house. This was a place of real evil, filled with a darkness deeper than any grave. Arjun was a lost man. He was a writer, and his words used to flow like a river, full of life and excitement. But now his words came out slow and choppy, like they were being choked by the boredom of his life. He lived alone, always compared to his famous father, a historian who died too young. Arjun felt like a cheap copy, trapped by his father's accomplishments. He inherited the house on Aurangzeb Lane from his father. It was a huge, sprawling place that felt more like a tomb than a home. Arjun always felt uneasy inside. A heavy silence hung in the air, broken only by the creaking of the old house and the faraway sounds of Delhi's traffic. He had no idea that this silence was about to be shattered and his life changed forever. It started small, a book out of place, the smell of jasmine flowers when there were none around. Arjun brushed it off, thinking he was just tired. He buried himself in his work, trying to escape into the stories he wrote. But the shadows grew longer as the sun went down. They whispered his name, tempting and scary, pulling him deeper into the house. One afternoon, while looking through his father's research, Arjun found an old diary. The leather cover felt icy cold, like it held something unnatural. The faded writing inside talked about restless spirits, old rituals, and a darkness that wanted to be set free. As he read, the shadows around him seemed to move and twist, and the air grew heavy with fear. He realized he had opened a door that maybe should have stayed closed. Soon after, the voices began. Quiet at first, like the sound of silk moving in an empty room. They whispered about his deepest fears, his failures, picking at his insecurities like a musician playing a scary song. Sleep offered no escape. His dreams were filled with faceless figures with eyes that burned like hot coals. They reached for him, their touch promising only darkness and despair. His once familiar home had become a maze of terror. Every corner held a new horror, every shadow a possible threat. He was trapped in a nightmare while he was awake, the line between being sane and crazy blurring more each day. One night, as the fear grew stronger, a figure stepped out of the shadows. Tall and skinny, with eyes that glowed with an evil light, it offered Arjun a way out, a deal whispered in the quiet of the night, a promise to get rid of the darkness in exchange for something much more important. Desperate and losing his mind, Arjun thought about the offer. The creature, with a voice like dry leaves crunching underfoot, promised him peace, success, even a way to talk to his dead father. All Arjun had to do was give in, give up his will, his very self, to the darkness that filled the house. Section 6. A Mind Divided. The evil spirit took over Arjun slowly. It crept into his thoughts and actions, changing him bit by bit. He started acting strangely, his once kind personality replaced by a scary coldness. His reflection in the mirror looked like a stranger, his eyes glowing with the same evil light he'd seen in the creature. He fought back, holding on to the last pieces of his sanity. He tried to find comfort in his writing, pouring his fear and confusion onto the page. But the evil spirit wouldn't stop, tightening its hold on his mind, whispering promises of power and nothingness. He was trapped in a battle for his very soul, and it wasn't clear who would win. Section 7. The Exorcism. News of Arjun's trouble reached an old family friend, a priest who knew a lot about old rituals and holy books. He arrived at the house on Aurangzeb Lane, his eyes showing he understood the evil that had taken hold inside. The air crackled with unseen energy as he got ready to fight the evil spirit. The priest, armed with prayers and ancient relics, battled the entity that held Arjun captive. The house itself seemed to fight back, the walls groaning, the shadows swirling with evil intent. The battle went on for hours. Arjun thrashed and screamed, caught between the priest's powerful prayers and the entity's desperate hold. The air filled with the smell of incense and a sickly metallic scent that hinted at another world. The priest, sweating, put all his faith and willpower into the ancient rituals, determined to free Arjun from the evil's grasp. Section 8. Scars and Shadows. The exorcism worked. The evil spirit, weakened and forced away, went back into the shadows where it came from. Arjun, left weak and confused, was finally free. But what happened left a permanent mark on him. The house on Aurangzeb Lane, once a prison, now stood empty, a harsh reminder of his close call with the darkness. Arjun moved on, forever changed by his experience with the supernatural. He carried the scars, both visible and hidden, as a reminder of how fragile the human mind is and how easily darkness can take over the light. Section 9. The Undying Light. Even after the horrors she had seen, Rose found a new strength inside herself. She had looked into the darkness and come back, shaken but not broken. She learned that real bravery wasn't about not being afraid, but about facing your fears, about fighting for your soul even when all hope seemed lost. The experience changed how she saw the world. She went back to her writing, her words now filled with a raw honesty and a deep understanding that connected with readers. She wrote about what happened to her, not to celebrate the darkness, but to show how strong the human spirit can be, proving that even when faced with unbelievable evil, hope can survive. Bad things may happen, evil may whisper, but the soul, she had learned, could never truly be put out.
The Miller family was like an old, intricate tapestry, each member a thread woven together to form a beautiful picture. There was Sarah, the strong matriarch. Her wisdom held the family together. Beside her stood John, her husband, a beacon of quiet strength and unwavering love. Their children, David and Emily, completed the picture. David, the elder, was a dreamer, his head always in the clouds. Emily, the youngest, was the family's ray of sunshine, her laughter infectious. Life was a gentle rhythm of shared meals, laughter, and love. They faced their share of storms, as all families do, but they weathered them together, their bond unbreakable. They believed in the power of family, in the strength they drew from each other. It was this belief that would be tested, their love pushed to its very limits. Then the threads of their life began to unravel. David, their beloved son and brother, started to change. He became withdrawn, his once bright eyes clouded with confusion. He spoke in riddles, his words a jumbled puzzle they couldn't solve. Doctors confirmed their worst fears, schizophrenia. Fear wrapped around their hearts like a cold fist. The diagnosis was a blow, shaking the very foundation of their lives. David, their dreamer, was trapped in a labyrinth of his own mind, haunted by voices only he could hear. They watched, helpless, as their once vibrant son retreated further into himself, the light in his eyes dimming with each passing day. Despite the fear and uncertainty, the Millers refused to let David fight his battle alone. They educated themselves about schizophrenia, arming themselves with knowledge and understanding. They learned to navigate the labyrinth alongside David, offering him a steady hand in the darkness. Emily, their ray of sunshine, became David's fiercest advocate. She fought for his inclusion, challenging the stigma surrounding mental illness with her unwavering love. John, the quiet pillar of strength, became David's anchor, his unwavering presence a source of comfort during the darkest storms. Sarah, the family's matriarch, poured her love into every aspect of David's care, her strength unwavering. The journey was arduous, marked by setbacks and triumphs. There were days when the darkness threatened to consume them, when despair cast long shadows. But through it all, the Millers held on to hope, their love for David their guiding light. Slowly, painstakingly, David began to heal. He found solace in medication and therapy, his mind slowly emerging from the fog. He rediscovered his love for painting, his canvases bursting with color and life, a testament to his resilience.
Last week I gave a rosary to my friend Lalit. Lalit is Hindu, I am Christian. We often discuss our faiths. We find comfort in our shared belief in a higher power. Lalit wears a silver Om pendant. I wear a wooden cross. These are symbols of our faith, reminders of what we hold dear. But our belief in goodness, in compassion, transcends these symbols. Some might find it strange, a Christian giving a rosary to a Hindu. But for us, it felt right. It was a gesture of friendship, a recognition of our shared journey. We believe that faith is personal, a connection between an individual and the divine. It is not defined by rituals or symbols, but by the goodness in our hearts. Many believe that heaven has different sections. One for Christians, one for Muslims, one for Hindus, and so on. I believe otherwise. I believe that in the realm of the divine, there are no boundaries. Our gods, though worshipped by different names, represent the same values: love, compassion, and justice. These values unite us, regardless of our religion. In the eyes of the divine, we are all equal. We are all children of God, seeking solace and guidance. Our differences fade in the light of faith. We must remember that our earthly divisions are man-made. In the grand tapestry of the universe, we are all interconnected. Our faiths, though different, can coexist peacefully. Faith in a higher power unites us. It inspires us to fight for justice, to show compassion, to choose love over hate. This is the essence of true religion. I have seen this unity firsthand. I have seen Christians and Muslims working together to feed the homeless. I have seen Hindus and Buddhists collaborating to build schools for underprivileged children. These acts of kindness transcend religious boundaries. They are a testament to our shared humanity, our innate desire to make the world a better place. We must always remember that evil has no religion. It thrives on division, on hatred, on fear. We must combat it with unity, with love, with unwavering faith in the goodness of humanity. Our world is often filled with darkness. We see hatred, violence, and injustice everywhere. But even in the darkest of times, faith shines through. I remember a story about a group of women from different religions who came together to protect a mosque from being vandalized. They stood hand in hand, forming a human chain around the mosque, their faith a shield against hatred. These are the stories that give me hope. They remind me that love is always stronger than hate, that faith can overcome fear. We must never lose hope. We must continue to fight for a world where people of all faiths can live together in peace and harmony. A world where our shared humanity triumphs over our differences.